Hey crafters, welcome back to another Crafty Creations video by Kalisha. Today I'm showing you this beautiful Black Santa and Miss Claus Christmas wreath and bow set in red, green, and gold. I loved creating this piece. The colors, the sparkle, and the character just make it so festive. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. The items used are a 14-inch wreath frame, 2 rows of 10 by 10 red and green deco mesh, 18 pipe cleaners, a metal black Santa sign. I ended up using 3 medium to large poinsettias, gold rope trim, plaid 1.5 wired ribbon, 2.5 gold sheer and glitter wired ribbon, 3 Christmas ornaments, red, green, and gold, and gold floral wire. I will leave a description of everything I bought and used and where I got it from in the description box below. Now let's go ahead and get started on creating our working wreath form. To do that, you're going to need 18 pipe cleaners. You're going to place the first one at the top with the first 2 wires and the 2 bottom ones on the opposite sides of that, giving you 3 pipe cleaners in each section. You have 6 sections with 3 in each. And this is what it will look like when you've completed it. For this wreath, we're going to do a poof method. Poof method. To do that, all you have to do is take your mesh and lay one over the other. And then we're going to scrunch up one end about a half of an inch or to an inch in, and then you're going to take that and put it in your first pipe cleaner. We're going to work our way from the inside to the outside. Once you have that first piece tied down, then I just go ahead and add a zip tie to the end just to secure it a little more. To do your poof, I'm going to do 10-inch poofs. So you're going to measure out 10 inches, and then you're just going to place that piece into the next pipe cleaner and keep going until you go completely around your wreath frame. Once you've made it back around the wreath to where you started, then you're going to go ahead and make your last loop, and then you're going to go diagonal from the last one you did into the next section at the bottom, and you're going to make a 10-inch loop for that one. Then you're going to continue around making 10-inch loops at the bottom until you're back to where you started. Once you're back to where you started, then you make your 10-inch loop, and this is where you decide if the wreath is full enough for you or if you want to go around a second time. I decided to go around a second time because I wanted it to be much fuller than what it looked. Because I was not going to open up or pull apart my poofs, I was going to leave them just the way they were. So once again, I went around for a second time, making 10-inch loops. Once you get to the end of making your next set of loops, then you're going to cut off a piece, and then you're just going to take that and push it towards the back, and then just add a zip tie, and it will secure that loose tail end for you. Now you can go ahead and fluff out your poofs and pull them apart if you would like to. I, on the other hand, did not. I left mine intact with the 2 poofs together and just spreaded them out so that they would look fuller. Now you're going to take your gold rope and you're going to place it into the first pipe cleaner that you have, whichever one you choose, in the center row. And you're just going to follow your loops and keep going until you hit each and last one of your pipe cleaners in the center. That means you should go around at least 6 times and make 6 loops with your gold trim rope. And all you're doing is tying it into your pipe cleaners to secure it in. Once you've completed that, then go ahead and cut the last piece off. And I just took a piece of scotch tape and wrapped it around the end so that it wouldn't unravel and tucked it under. Now I just placed my sign in the center and I started adding all my decorations. As you see, I switched out my small poinsettias for some medium to large ones. And now I'm just doing a dry run to see where I want to place everything before I tie and glue everything down. Once you have everything placed where you would like it to be, then you can go ahead and start gluing all of your items down. For my poinsettias, once I decided where I wanted them, I snipped the ends off because they were a little too long, and then I added hot glue to the stem part. Sorry, it's off camera that I didn't record that part, but I just added glue to the stems part and stuck it down into the deco mesh in the strings and it attached to that. You can also go ahead and cut the pipe cleaners where you're going to put your poinsettias because you're not going to need them. Once again, just add a little glue or a lot of glue to the ends of your poinsettias and stick them in between your deco mesh and your rope, and it will attach to that. Once you have all your poinsettias glued down, then you can go ahead and add your Christmas balls. I first made sure the tops of the ornaments was glued down securely. Then I took the pipe cleaners that are attached to the frame and stuck them through the handle on top of the ornament, pulling it till it was secure in place, and I pushed the pipe cleaner to the back of the wreath frame, tying it into place against the wreath frame. Then I made sure everything was how I liked it. Now we're going to cut our ribbon. I started with my 1.5-inch ribbon. I wrapped it around my board that is 10 inches long because you're going to need 12 pieces cut at 20 inches. So once I had enough pieces wrapped around the board, I ended up cutting one side of the ribbon, giving me my 20-inch long pieces. For your 2.5-inch wired gold ribbon, you're going to need it to cut that at 22 inches. So I didn't have a board that was long enough for that, but I just put it against my mat and cut my ribbon at 22 inches. You will need a total of 12 pieces. Once you've cut all your ribbon, then you can go ahead and dovetail your ends. To dovetail your ends, all you have to do is fold it in half and cut at an angle. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like these classical Christmas colors are going to make this wreath one stunning wreath. Um, Comment down below what's your favorite colors to use for Christmas. Are you a more traditional person or do you like to go all glam and stuff? Now go ahead and grab your floral wire and cut off 2 long pieces so that you can add it to your pre-drilled holes that are on your sign. Once you have those added, then I went ahead and placed the sign in the center of the wreath so that I can flip it over and tie loosely down the floral wire so that I can make sure that it's where I want it before I tied it tightly. So once again, just tie it to the back loosely So that way, if it's not where you want it to be, you can move it around. And then once you have it where you would like it to be, then you can go ahead and flip over your wreath again and start and tie it down tightly. Once you have your sign secure, then we can go ahead and add our ribbon bundles. To add our ribbon bundles to our wreath frame, all you're going to do is take your 2.5-inch ribbon first and you're going to fold it in half to find your center. Then you're going to take your 1.5 ribbon and fold that in half to find your center. And then you're going to place them on top of each other opposite ways. So if one tail is facing, then the tail end should have a loop, and then the other end should have a loop and a tail. Then you're going to go ahead and place it inside of your pipe cleaner, and then you can go ahead and fluff it out now if you would like, or you can wait till the end. Once you've placed your ribbon though, then you can go ahead and also cut your pipe cleaner because you're not going to use it again. Also, when placing your ribbon bundles, you're going to alternate each one. So if their last bundle, the tails were on top, then when you place the next one, then your loop should be at top, on top. So it'll go gold 2.5-inch tails at the top, and then your next one, you should have a gold loop at the top. And this is what it will look like. I went ahead and added all my ribbon bundles into place, and then I went back and tied off all of my pipe cleaners and cut them off so that they can be removed because you will not be using them again, like I said earlier. And then I went ahead and fluffed out all of my bows. Once you're done fluffing your ribbon bundles, you can go ahead and move your festive wreath to the side so we can get started on making our matching bow set. I started with the 1.5-inch plaid ribbon, making 6-inch tails and 4-inch loops. Then I took a piece of floral wire and used it to secure my bow in place. It's your choice on how many bows you decide to make. Now, I did not dovetail the end of these bows, but it is totally up to you if you would like to. I thought they looked nice just the way they were. For our next bow, we're going to take our 2.5-inch gold ribbon and we're going to make 8-inch tails with 4-inch loops. I used floral wire to secure the bows in place once I got done making my loops. I also dovetailed the ends of the tails for my gold ribbon once I was complete. For the next bow and our final bow, we're going to do a layered look. You're going to take your gold ribbon first and you're going to do 8-inch tails with 4-inch loops. And then once you have that bow made, you're going to take your 1.5-inch wired and place it on top, doing 8-inch tails and 4-inch loops for that as well. And then once you have both bows made, you can go ahead and take your floral wire and secure them tightly so that they are in place and will not come undone. I also dovetailed both ends of each ribbon. Once I got done making our layered bow look, I decided that it needed something else. So I took these little gold balls that I had here. I took the smaller ones of the group and I placed them in the center of the plaid bows. And this is what all three of our sets of matching bows look like. And this is what our finished wreath and bow set looks like. Thank you so much for watching and spending a little crafting time with me today. I hope you enjoy seeing this Black Santa and Mrs. Claus wreath and bow set come together. in these beautiful red, green, and gold holiday colors. Don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe so you never miss another wreath or bow set from Crafty Creations by Kalisha. Your support truly means the world to my small business. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy holidays, y'all!